He raised his hand and shouted, "Attack!" But the canine didn't move. Instead, the trained German shepherd froze, staring at the trembling old man. The officer shouted again. But something was wrong. What the dog did next just shocked the crowd. It uncovered a heartbreaking truth no one expected. A group of uniformed officers stood near a tall, lean German shepherd, eyes focused on an elderly man sitting quietly under a tree. He didn't seem dangerous, just tired. Yet, one officer's voice rang out sharply. "You're not allowed here anymore." The old man looked up, confused but silent. The officer took a step forward, his hand resting firmly on the leash of the canine by his side. The dog, Rex, stood alert, eyes locked on the old man. "One more warning," the officer barked. "Move now, or we'll move you." The old man's brows furrowed, still unsure what crime he had committed. Around them, a small crowd began to gather. Then the command came, sharp and unmistakable. "Attack!" Rex tensed immediately, paws shifting forward. The old man's eyes widened in fear. Rex's ears perked, his body coiled like a spring, but he didn't leap. Instead, he froze in place, his sharp eyes still locked on the old man. The officer repeated the command louder this time. His voice edged with frustration, but Rex didn't budge. His muscles trembled slightly, as if battling something deeper than training. Around them, the crowd watched in stunned silence. This wasn't normal. Rex had never disobeyed a direct order before. Something unseen was holding him back. The old man slowly raised his hands, his voice trembling as he spoke. "Please, I don't understand. I haven't done anything wrong." His eyes glistened, not with fear but with something else, a deep sadness. "I was just resting," he added softly. His frail voice barely rose above the murmurs of the growing crowd. One child whispered, "Why isn't the dog moving?" While a woman pulled out her phone to record, the officers exchanged confused glances. The lead officer clenched his jaw and gave the command again, louder, sharper. "Rex, attack!" But Rex only growled softly, glancing between his handler and the old man. A strange tension settled over the scene. One of the younger officers leaned toward the handler. "Something's not right," he muttered. Bystanders began murmuring louder, some taking cautious steps back. Rex's behavior made no sense. He had never disobeyed a command during his entire service. Yet now, with an old man in front of him, he stood frozen. Then something changed. Rex's stiff posture softened, his ears twitched, and he tilted his head, studying the old man more closely. He took a hesitant step forward, not aggressive, but curious. Slowly, he approached, his growl fading into a low whimper. The old man didn't move, but his eyes widened in disbelief. Rex sniffed the air, then the man's coat. His tail gave a faint wag. The handler tightened the leash instinctively, but Rex ignored it. He moved closer, nose gently brushing the man's hand. A flicker of recognition passed through the dog's eyes, as if he was remembering something long forgotten. Gasps rippled through the crowd. The aggressive canine had not only refused to attack, he was now nuzzling the old man's palm. Phones were raised, recording every second of the bizarre scene. A teenage girl whispered, "Is he hugging him?" Rex sat beside the man, pressing gently against his leg, tail slowly wagging. An officer lowered his weapon, stunned. The handler looked down in disbelief, loosening his grip on the leash. "What the hell is going on?" someone murmured. The old man reached out, brushing Rex's fur with trembling fingers. His lips quivered. "I know you," he whispered. "You remember me." The old man's face crumpled as tears streamed down his cheeks. He clutched Rex's fur, sobbing openly now. "It's really you," he whispered, voice cracking. The crowd fell silent, the tension replaced by a stunned, hushed reverence. Rex let out a soft whine and rested his head gently on the man's lap. An officer knelt down slowly, watching the exchange with wide eyes. "Sir, do you know this dog?" The old man nodded, barely able to speak. "He was mine years ago." His hand trembled as it stroked the dog's head. "I raised him before he was taken from me." The old man's voice shook as he began to explain. His name was Max before they renamed him Rex. I found him as a pup, abandoned, barely alive. I raised him, trained him, loved him. He paused, eyes misty. But I lost my job. I couldn't feed him anymore. I had no choice. A long sigh escaped his lips. The shelter said they'd find him a better life. I never saw him again. One officer moved, looked away to hide his expression. The man gently cupped Rex's face. And now here he is after all these years. He still remembers me. Rex let out another soft whine, nudging the man's chest with his nose. Then something extraordinary happened. He placed his paw gently in the man's lap just like he used to as a pup. The old man gasped, tears flowing freely. "You remember?" he choked. Rex's tail wagged slowly. His body relaxed. No longer the tense, obedient K9 machine, but a loyal companion rediscovered. Officers stood frozen, moved by the sight. The bond between them was undeniable. Even years of training hadn't erased it. Rex leaned in, pressing against the man's chest as if to say, "I never forgot you either." The sudden silence was broken by the sound of boots approaching. Sharp, authoritative, the K9 unit's captain arrived, scanning the unusual scene with narrowed eyes. "Report," he said curtly. One officer stepped forward, hesitant. "Sir, the dog disobeyed. He wouldn't attack. He recognized the man." The captain raised an eyebrow, watching as Rex rested beside the old man like a faithful friend. "That's not possible," he muttered. But the evidence lay at his feet, two souls reunited by something deeper than memory. The old man looked up. "He's not your tool," he said softly. "He's someone's family." The captain didn't argue. He listened. The captain gave a quiet signal and one officer stepped forward, calling Rex back. "Rex, heel!" he commanded firmly, but Rex didn't move. Instead, he let out a low, warning growl and pressed even closer to the old man's side. Another command followed, sharper this time. Still, the dog stayed. The crowd watched, breath held, as Rex's loyalty defied protocol. One officer reached for the leash, but Rex bared his teeth protectively. The old man placed a calming hand on his head. "It's okay, boy." But Rex wouldn't budge. His body language was clear. He wasn't leaving the man ever again. The captain stood still, absorbing the weight of the moment. Years of training, discipline, and duty were being rewritten by something no manual could explain. Love. He looked at the officers, then back at the old man, who held Rex as if afraid to wake from a dream. Finally, the captain exhaled. "Stand down," he said quietly. "Everyone." The officers hesitated, surprised, but obeyed. The tension in the air melted. The crowd, silent moments ago, began to clap softly. The captain stepped closer, his voice low. "He chose you," he said to the old man. "Maybe it's time we listen too." Later that day, paperwork was quietly processed. The decision was made. Rex would be retired early, officially released from service. Officers gathered as the old man signed the final form with trembling hands. "You're going home, boy," he whispered, tears in his eyes. Rex stood proudly beside him. No longer a working dog, but a companion reunited with his purpose. The captain approached one last time, offering a respectful nod. "Take care of him," he said. The old man smiled, voice thick with emotion. "Always." As they walked away from the station, Rex looked back only once, then never again. If you were moved by this incredible story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Stay with us for more heartwarming and unbelievable stories.